Hey everybody, welcome to Analog Stick Radio, brought to you by Bit Cultures. This is episode 16. I am your host Mitch, and as always, I'm joined by my two favorite people in the entire world. Over to my left, I have Chris.
Hello.
And down below me, I've got the one, the only, Dakota.
Hey.
Hey guys, it is the end of the year. This is the last episode of 2015. How you feeling? How was the year?
Old. Feel old.
You feel old?
The year feels old too.
Yeah, I feel old.
So let's talk about what we played this week. Chris, I'm looking at you first.
What did I play this? Oh, what I played this week was Starcraft 2, Legacy of the Void.
Yeah, that's right. You just got the new one. How was it?
I got it a couple days ago. Actually, it's great. I mean, it's Starcraft. Like, it's exactly
what you wanted it to be.
Blizzard pedigree. You know what you're getting, and I think it did a great job filling out the story, like finishing it up. I really liked it.
Were there sweet cutscenes?
Of course, yeah.
I mean, yeah, obviously.
Come on, what a question to
Blizzard
ask
has
about a Blizzard
great,
game.
gorgeous cutscenes all the time.
Yeah,
and
they always do.
This game is no exception.
Sweet. Dakota, what did we play this week? What do we have going on?
This week I played a little bit of a game called Prison Architect. Have you guys heard of that game?
Yeah,
no, but I did
mentioned
see
it,
you playing it on Steam.
Yeah, Prison Architect is a sim game / people liken it to Dwarf Fortress. You micromanage a prison, kind of like a Roller Coaster Tycoon or something like that. It's good. It kept me enthralled for a long time, and it still is. I'll definitely play more of it. There's a lot of micromanagement that you can do, and it's actually pretty adult in nature. There's a couple of cutscenes and story-driven elements that they tell through Polaroid photos, and they're really racy, man. Like violence, nudity, like the whole 9 yards. I was like, what the heck? Because like the normal graphics of the characters are these little boop-bop, circles for heads, ovals for bodies kind of characters. And then it'll show you like the Polaroid representation of them where they look really colorful, illustrated drawings. It's like, those are boobs. Like, what the hell? This totally caught me off guard.
Boop bop boobs.
Boop bop boobs. So,
Boop bop boobs.
yeah, that's what I played. It's good. I recommend it. What about you?
I don't know
Mitch?
go ahead. Keep going on that. I don't know. I feel like we talked about this before. Did you ever play Evil Genius?
No, I haven't. What's that?
I played Evil Genius with you.
Yeah, it's very similar to that. You're an evil genius and you own like an island, and you have to set up you have to build your island in this mountain, or like your little fortress in this mountain, and like maximize where all your henchmen go, and
That's
like make a
awesome.
game room for them and stuff. And then you have like secret agents coming in. And you have to set up traps for them.
That's
And
really
you have
cool.
I really liked there was a meat locker, because when you kill secret agents, you also get random people showing up on your island. So you have to eventually make a hotel so they can stay at, so they don't know your evil deeds. So you put all the secret agents in your meat locker to hide them from everybody else.
Phenomenal.
It was really good.
It's a great game.
How old is that game?
There was a lot of tiny little intricacies about that game that made it perfect.
It's pretty old. It had a really good art style, like a fun little art style, like a minimalist art style. That, I mean, it's a top-down view, but I mean, it's still fun. I think it was given like in the 70s at the time of a rating, but I like it. It was fun to just pick up and play and mess around. I liked it a lot.
Yeah.
Sounds similar to the Prison Architect.
Sure. Yeah. What about you, Mitch?
Sweet. Well, I played a lot of one game in specific, which we will discuss later. But when I wasn't playing that, I was actually playing a lot of Magic the Gathering this week.
Oh, online or in person?
Both. The Vintage Cube for Magic the Gathering Online is incredible, and I am forcing every single time some sort of architect theme. I'm picking Tolarian Academy every single draft.
What is a cube?
It's wonderful. Basically, it's like a group of a bunch of cards. They put them into little individual packs, and then everybody opens the packs, gets random cards, picks one, and then passes it down.
So it's like
a people.
It's like an arena of 10 people where they share the cards.
Yes, exactly.
Arena.
It's like arena drafting, but you and 8 other people have a bigger pack of cards, and when you take one out, it's gone, and then you pass it over.
Okay, that's
and so
pretty
you
cool.
just keep doing that 3 times until all the cards are gone. You try to make a deck.
That's fun.
It's very interesting. You get to do some really wacky things that you don't normally get to do in any other format. It's very fun. But I've been playing a lot of that. I played some Commander with my buddies in real life. So that's pretty much what I did if I wasn't playing a specific game that we will discuss later on. But actually, let's move on to the main topic because it's very meaty, a lot of stuff to talk about, and I want to get through it. All right, so today we are going to be reviewing 2015. We're going to be talking about the whole year, all the games. We were going to do the top 5 games of the year, but everybody does that. Everybody does like what they think were the top 5 games or the top 10 games, and all the games are going to probably be the fucking same. So instead, what we're going to do is our top 5 games, and that's going to be games that we've played. So none of these games will be games that we did not play. So I'm pretty excited about it overall. It's going to be a lot of fun. I think we're going to have a lot of the same games on our list. So let's get right to it. Christopher, we're going to break it down. We have 5. We're going to go from, what did you say? What was the...
Worst to first.
That was the we're gonna go from worst to first. So Christopher, give me your number 5.
Yeah, worst has a bad connotation though. It's still good.
Well, lowest.
Call me worst to first.
Well, fifth to first.
I almost
just doesn't
called you
sound
worst to
very
first.
good, Chris. Come on. Fifth to first.
Fifth to first. My number 5 is my number 5 is actually Starcraft 2, Legacy of the Void. What I just got.
Oh, man.
And even though, I'm doing my list based on how much, trying to combine, of course, this is our own list, so I'm going to make it up however I want, so you can't tell me what I did or did not do. But even though I only played it for a couple times, or for the past week, rather, I could definitely tell how much effort and, care was put into this game. I haven't finished it yet, but I saw all the different features of it. I really, really, really like this game. I like what they did to finalize the story. Like some of the other StarCraft games or some other games, they always have a big evil entity at the end of the game, and it doesn't feel like you're doing anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's a big monster or something, and it's not a big deal. But this one, it really feels like, oh, everything's going to shit. We got to get this done. And I really like the way they ended the story. They also a cool co-op mission that I really like. They added to
I heard
StarCraft.
about that, yeah.
Yeah. Did you play? Did you try any of it?
No, I've watched a lot of it, though. I've actually watched, because I realized I'm not going to purchase this game. So I've just watched a lot of people play the storyline.
Why are you not going to purchase it?
It's just not a day one buy for me.
God, just always wanting to start shit. Just starting shit. Okay, I'm not going to even...
I'm not going to buy it either because I suck at RTS, but I always
suck at it,
admire them.
I really like the way the story was going. I had to see the end of it, and I've always bought all the StarCraft games. And the co-op seems really cool. You play a game with one of your friends, and you get this very specialized, almost like single-player missions, but you play with somebody else, and you get a specialized commander, so special units. And if you pick Kerrigan, you get a special Hydralisk army, and you could actually put Kerrigan on the battlefield for your team. So there's a lot of fun little things that make it different than the other StarCrafts, and I really moved it forward. I had a lot of fun. I could tell I really liked it. So that's my number 5 for this year.
Nice. Sweet. I actually, Dakota, before we move on to yours, I'm gonna write down, Chris, your number 1. I'm gonna write it down. I've already written it down actually. But I'm going to write it down, and because I'm pretty sure I know what your number 1 is going to be, and I kind of just realized it in my head. So, just an aside.
Oh,
I got
you
pegged.
Yeah. I could probably...
Yeah, Dakota, you know what it is, too, so we'll reveal it later. So, Dakota, what was your 5th place best game of 2015?
My 5th favorite game of 2015 was Invisible Ink. Invisible Ink was by Clay Entertainment, the same dudes that did Don't Starve. And
great game.
Don't Starve is a great game. Invisible Ink is also a great game. It's a tactical turn-based, and it's very similar to XCOM. I've mentioned it briefly on the show before. But instead of where XCOM is all about getting upgraded armor and laser rifles and blasting aliens' heads off, Invisible Ink is, as you might expect from the title, a stealth game. So it's tactical turn-based, but it's all covert operations. It's super colorful. The characters are voice acted. It's really well done.
Did you say it was turn-based?
It's turn-based, yeah.
So have you ever played XCOM? Is it similar to XCOM?
Yep. Very similar to XCOM.
Okay.
Huh.
Yeah. So whereas XCOM is more action-oriented, although, take cover and stuff, it's not like you get too much mileage out of sneaking around. But most often the goal in Invisible Ink is to get through the entire level without ever being detected at all. And,
okay, that's really cool.
bound to not
That sounds
happen.
like an interesting game.
It's very good.
You know what? I did see a video of that a long time ago. That did
Yeah.
look really interesting. Yeah, I know what
Nice.
you're talking about.
Yeah,
Really
it's
cool.
awesome. I definitely recommend it. It's a lot of fun. I played many hours of that game. It was definitely one of my earlier favorite games of the year before other stuff came out.
Okay.
That's sweet. Sounds good. It's definitely a game that I've never heard of, but it sounds like something that's right up my alley.
Sure.
I think I'd want to check that out for sure. So, all right. Well, my number 5 game is kind of cheating. It is a game that was re-released and remastered this year, and it was part of a collection.
Okay.
But my number 5 game is Uncharted 2 because
Okay.
that game I have played hours of that game already, and I never want to stop. I always look at the clock and it's like 3 a.m. and I'm like, I need to go to bed now, but I
Nice.
really want to keep playing. Yeah, the game is incredible from start to finish. Dakota, you were not lying. That game starts off strong with a sweet train scene, and it just keeps going. It just does not stop.
Doesn't derail.
Oh, God.
It does not derail. It goes off the rails.
Wow.
Your train joke was much
Yeah.
better than mine, Chris.
Yeah, it is.
Better than any train jokes
It's really
at all.
incredible. What I really like about it too is that it just, I don't know. It keeps making you think that you know what's going on, and then it's like, fuck that, you don't know shit, and it takes it all away from you, and it's wonderful.
Yeah. It
So
really
every
is
time
like
I think
a
I
great.
figured it out too.
It really is like a great Indiana Jones adventure that you get to play, right?
Yeah, it's seriously like, sometimes I'm like playing and I realize like, wow, this is really fucking cheesy, but like, I just don't care. I'm just letting it happen. Like, some of the things that happen are really ridiculous and far-fetched, but oh well. Like, I don't care.
Yeah, right
So
on.
it's pretty funny, man.
Cool.
It's pretty fun. It's definitely an amazing game, and I'm really excited to play Uncharted 3. I've already pre-ordered Uncharted 4. Like, I'm very excited for the rest of
I'm
the
telling you,
series,
man,
for
after
sure.
you finish 3, you got to play Last of Us. It's
I
just the
definitely wanna-
natural
Well, I'm
progression.
waiting. So, again, guys, I'm going to implore you, Eric at bitcultures.com, email him, tell him Mitch needs his fucking key so I can play this game.
How did
because
he
I
get
would
a
really
key
like
of
to
that
play
for
it.
you?
I think he bought the bundle, and then he just had already played it. So he just has a key for a free Last of Us game,
I'll
but
hit
he
him
doesn't
up.
know where it is. And I keep telling him to find it, but he's like, I'm still recovering or some bullshit. So just email him,
Dude
Eric
was
at
hospitalized for 2
bitcultures.com.
weeks for anybody that's wondering.
Yeah, he was very, very sick, but that's no excuse.
No
So Eric at
excuse.
bitcultures.com, email him, tell him Mitch wants his goddamn key.
All right.
All right, let's move on. Fourth to fur. Give us your
Fourth the fur.
give us your fourth best game of 2015.
This is a
It's
game.
beautiful.
The amount of time I've played this game this year should have. I mean, if this was a time, this would be number one. Heroes of the Storm, by far.
Did that come out this year?
Yeah,
It came
did.
out, this year. We've been playing it since the previous year because it was an alpha.
Right.
But it came out this year in this spring. So I freaking love Heroes of the Storm. I really like the MOBA. I like the idea of the MOBA, but I played so much Dota and like the original Dota, not so much Dota 2 and League of Legends, and I just got over the 40-minute games and like the I don't know, man. It just felt like a grind. Like I wasn't having fun anymore. But Heroes of the Storm, the matches are so short. They're really fast paced. I feel like there's not in League and Dota, you feel like the characters move kind of slowly, but when a fight starts, it's like somebody's boom, 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 dead right away. I like how there's a lot of health, and I don't know if fights feel like sustained a lot more in Heroes of the Storm. I really like the way they have that set up. I like all the objectives. That's definitely my number 4 of this year, Heroes of the Storm. I love the way it changed up the
honestly,
MOBA space.
When I made this list, I guess I didn't realize because we played in the alpha. Didn't we start playing in the alpha before?
Yeah, we played in
this year?
2014.
Yeah, so in my head, the game came out in 2014.
Yeah.
So I didn't even put this on this list.
Yeah.
If I had remembered that, I would have 100% put that on this list. That game is by far, like, it's an incredible game. One of the better games that Blizzard's put out, for sure. I'm going to go out and say I think it's better than StarCraft.
I used to.
Could say that.
It certainly gets more attention from them than StarCraft. I mean, it being new and StarCraft being on a kind of a decline since they're just ending a trilogy, and obviously HOTS Heroes of the Storm being a brand new game, they're devoting a lot of attention and developer resources to Heroes. It's actually the same development team that works on both games because it's the same engine. And yeah, that game, man, when it first came out, I was pretty hesitant. I was very resistant to the what do you call it, casual version MOBA or whatever.
Right.
And I've totally come full circle. I think the more I think about that game and the way it's designed, the more I think it's probably the best designed MOBA that's out there, better than Dota 2 as far as design at least, better than League by miles as far as design is concerned.
Miles and miles.
And yeah, whenever I have to scratch that MOBA itch, I just play Heroes now. I don't even Dota 2 has been sitting waiting for an update, a large, like several gigs update for like weeks, and I have no desire to update it, which kind of breaks my heart, man. Like I'm an old school like Dota 2. I've been playing Dota 2 for Dota for 10 years, a whole decade.
Yeah. So have I. I feel you.
HOTS definitely pulled me away. Saying a lot.
Great.
Yeah, it's crazy to think that they just kind of created this new MOBA design out of nowhere. Like League and Dota kind of followed, and even like Heroes of New Earth, they kind of like they all followed the same, trend.
Yeah.
And then Blizzard was like, fuck that. No, we're going to do something else. Yeah. And I really liked that. Like that blew my mind that they were like, yeah, those items, the gold, yeah, fuck all of that. No, all these standards of MOBAs, we're not doing any of those. We're going to do our own thing, and they've been extremely successful.
Yeah. And you and I had a long conversation a couple weeks ago about all three of these games and the way they're designed, and I think you agreed that the conclusion we kind of came to was every mechanic and detail in that game is all focused on the overall goal of pushing and
pushing. Yep.
Destroying the enemy base. Like everything that you do contributes directly to pushing on the enemy base. You can look at like the jungle metagame in all three games, Dota, League, and this one, where Dota's jungle game is a big question mark. It has nothing to do with anything and is based on a bug in the original engine. And then League's jungle game gives you buffs, which indirectly help you push because it makes your guy stronger. But what do Heroes of the Storm jungle games do? They generate creeps that push. They directly contribute to the overall kind of philosophy of the MOBA genre. So
I like that conversation too. That was pretty good. All right, so Dakota, Heroes of the Storm is his fourth. What is your fourth best game of 2015?
My fourth best game, my fourth favorite game of 2015 is Batman Arkham Knight. Did you guys play any Batman Arkham Knight? You guys aren't big console guys, yeah?
Yeah, we're not big console guys. I'm very new to the console scene, so
yeah. I just don't have any of the new consoles because I figured all the stuff I'd want. I kind of want a PS4, but anything I can get on the PC.
We're converting him, Dakota. We've almost got him.
Yeah,
one of us.
Batman was awesome. So Batman has amazing things to say about it, and then it's got some negatives too, because after all, it's not made of Jesus' butt. Arkham Knight is just a game, and so it's going to be flawed like any others. And its flaws are kind of like that it didn't like knock any innovation balls out of the park. The combat is the combat that has always been in the Arkham games, which was kind of innovative at the time that the first game came out. It did this fluid, I can defeat any enemy.
I really like the way they do the combat in that. It's gorgeous. You feel like Batman.
You feel like Batman. That's exactly right, Chris. I agree wholeheartedly. I know some people that don't like it. They think it's too easy. Oh, that's so stupid. Like a bunch of guys just stand around you taking turns fighting you. That's true. That's fair. But
have you ever watched a Batman movie
or a martial arts
movie?
movie?
That's what happens.
Yeah. Yes.
Like that's what they do.
Yeah, not only that, but you can. I find that you can play that game in two very different ways as far as combat's concerned. You can just press square all day long and punch every guy until they get knocked out, or you can challenge yourself to try to rack up variation bonuses. The game tracks and provides you extra bonus experience the cooler and more Batman-y you fight the guy. So if you're using like all your gadgets left and right and mixing it up, combos, counterattacks, finishers, some bat claw, some batarang, some jump kicks, it's like, hey, you're an even more badass of a Batman than we thought, so here's more experience. I don't think that like people who complain about the system and it being dull, they don't see it like that. They just, but you can just finish the game by pressing square. Who wants to do that? Anyway, that's the combat. That's the worst part of the game, which isn't even that bad. The rest of the game is just amazeballs. Like I told you guys last week, it's all set on Halloween night, and they just like seep you in this immersion. You feel like Batman. The characters are all voice acted by people that have been voicing these characters for years in the animated series. It's like you get to live a comic book, and it's just way cool.
I like that it's set in one day too. Like when you told me that, I thought that was a very interesting like feature of the game, that it's got like that Majora's Mask feel where it's all the same one day.
Yeah, it communicates a sense of urgency to the storyline. Like shit is awesome. Going down. So.
That's kind of how I felt. Like
awesome.
StarCraft 2 didn't do that, but I like the way that those games feel. Like it's like, there's a sense of dread, and it's actually like you really need to push through it. Like Diablo, I felt like that's an example. All the bad guys are just like, ha ha ha, I'm the bad guy. What are you gonna do about it? And it's kind of like there's no pushing. It's just kind of like I kind of want to punch that guy, but it's not like I have to save the world from this Jim douchebag. Like,
yeah.
God damn it, Jim.
Douchebag Rainer.
Oh man. Well, it's okay. So my fourth. I like this. We have a lot of different ones. Last week, our top 3 winter levels was kind of a lot of the same. So I like that we have a lot of different ones here. My fourth best game of 2015 for me is actually Mortal Kombat X. I've played a lot of that game. Yeah, I've played a lot of that game. And let me tell you, that game is so much fun. They've actually done it correctly this time.
Do you not agree, Dakota?
Well, I have my own thoughts. I'll let Mitch finish.
Okay.
No, I mean let's hear him. Let's
No. You tell us why you like it first. Then we can let him
it's
try
just,
and bring you down a notch.
They have their things that they do in every Mortal Kombat game, or they've been doing in every Mortal Kombat game for like the past 5 years, where like you have these specials that like break people's bones and stuff like that, and it's very unrealistic. But like
the X-ray
Mortal
moves.
Kombat has always been the game that like didn't really take itself super seriously. Like you just do fucking dumb,
pull a guy's spine
shit
out of his body.
Yeah, you rip a guy's spine out of his back, and then he shows up next round to fight you
somebody
again.
else
like,
into
whatever.
a baby.
I think the best instance of that in this game you're talking about is where you grab the old lady from the background and slap her on the enemy.
And you just you grab an old lady and you throw her at somebody. Like that was when I saw that, I was like, this game is incredible. But not only that, but like the actual like comboing systems, the different stances you can pick for your guy, like your character can be completely different based on like what mode you pick him in.
Yeah,
there's a character that has like a caster fireball mode. She has like a in your face like daggery mode, and then she has like a big staff mode that she just like gets really aerial and does a bunch of really cool stuff. And like that's insane that you have like the same character doing 3 vastly different things.
They added the stances. I liked that idea. They had it in one of the older Mortal Kombats when it was in the 3D. Like in a 3D space, kind of like
that was a terrible idea.
Yeah, it wasn't good.
Not a good
and then
idea.
they brought it back. They brought it back to the regular 2D. But I haven't played Mortal Kombat X, so that's really cool that they brought that idea back in a 2D space. I like that. That's really interesting.
What I also really like is the way you unlock things is a very interesting, I don't know, like mini game in itself. Like you go into what's called the crypt. And as you're playing games, you get these like this currency, then you go in the crypt and you just like walk around the crypt like unearthing bodies or like opening chests and stuff like that, and they give you a random thing. You have no idea what it's going to be. It could be a skin, it could be a new like fatality, it could be this, it could be that, it could be pretty much anything. And I thought that was really cool. It's like a very interesting thing, and then there's like a little mini game within the crypt where like you have to go find individual little items that help you get to further parts of the crypt. So it's got this own little mini game for unlocking things. It's not just like, oh, I have 100,000. All right, let me go to the shop and see what they have. Oh, they have a bunch of stuff. All right, I'll buy that. Like it was an interesting thing that they did.
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah, you're right.
So Dakota,
I don't have too many bad things to say about the game. It's just funny because like Mortal Kombat has always been the redheaded stepchild of the fighting game community, and for the first time they made a pretty competent fighter. Like it's got a decent combo system, as you said, a lot of variation because of each of the 3 modes that you can pick your each character in. So that's all cool. Where the game really suffered, unfortunately, was the netcode. It was nearly unplayable, like if you wanted to actually play online. And
Oh, really?
yeah, like I have the game. I own the game too, and it's fun. Like I had a lot of fun trying to learn how to play ice sword or ice weapons, Sub-Zero.
Yeah.
And
Cryomancer.
Cryomancer, yeah, where he summons the ice weapons. But then as soon as I went online to try to play, like the lag is so piss poor that it's very not fun.
That's
and it's
awful,
super
man.
important for a fighting game, unfortunately. So
Yeah, that's
it's
one of the
hard
ones.
to
That's one of those things
deliver.
you can't skimp on at
Right.
all.
yeah,
Like you can skimp on a lot of things in fighting games, but
Yep.
connectivity is not.
yeah,
In a game where frames per second and frames forward and frames backward matter,
yes,
your netcode needs to be better than anybody's ever.
yep. That's exactly right. So it's like
I actually
FPS
never-
and fighting games are like they got to be airtight.
Yeah. Yeah, I've never actually played online. I've only played like in person. So
Did you mention that the single player too was very unique and different than other fighters? Like you didn't just pick a dude and then play through. You would play out the storyline, and it would swap you into different characters just to drive the narrative forward.
Yeah, I like
and
that.
force
They
you to
done-
play different characters too, which I thought was really interesting. And you like pick like a clan and stuff. It's pretty cool. It's a very interesting single player for a fighting game.
Yep.
It's not just climbing the tower. You can climb the tower. That's still a thing, but there's also a sweet storyline. So that was my number 4. I had a lot of fun playing with it. A lot of my friends and I played it, and I've played a lot of fighters like Guilty Gear, Smash Bros, Street Fighter, and I don't know. This one was very relatable, and I don't know. I think they did a good job. So,
Cool.
Chris, three Stuffer.
Third Stuffer.
Third
Yeah, third Stuffer.
Christopher.
What was
Chris
your
the
number
third.
3?
Chris the third. My number 3 is a game near and dear to our hearts. My number 3 is Rocket League. Number 3.
Excellent.
I mean, I don't know what
I
to
knew it
say
was
about
gonna
this
be
game.
one. Yeah.
If you don't know what Rocket League is by now, I don't know what kind of video game person or internet denzian you are. But it's a game with rocket cars where you play soccer, and it's a lot of fun. Everybody enjoys it.
We enjoy it a lot.
Yeah,
We play
it's
it
a
all
lot
the
of fun.
time.
It's really intense. Every game is a blast, and I mean, I have a lot of fun with it. What about? I don't know what to say other than it's so much. You have to play it, and it's made by an indie developer. It's not a AAA, and it just kind of came out of nowhere. Nobody was expecting over the summer to start playing soccer with cars, and I feel like it came out at a great time, like in a really lull,
Yeah.
part
Yeah.
of the gaming world. I thought it was great.
I think the last
no.
numbers that I saw for that game was that it made something like it's made $50 million so far. $50 million, and I think the
What?
development budget was like $2 million or something like that. So they've
Wow.
made like 25 times their developer budget already, and that's the number you got to compare, right? When you compare it to these other games, these other huge games that might be on our list or that are winning Game of the Year awards, like Fallout and other ones like that.
The Witcher 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the budgets on those games were probably larger than the amount of money that went in that Rocket League has earned, but they've not made, nearly as much
Yeah.
in relation. So.
I mean, it just
The,
shows
the
that, like, you don't-
disparity is larger
you don't
in
need
Rocket
the
League.
backing of these big corporations to make a game that's just good. Like, it's down to the simplest formula, and it's
so
great,
simple.
and people love it.
There's nothing
People
to the
love it.
game. That's what's so amazing about it, right? Rocket League.
I just read the chat. I'm gonna say my my headset broke, so I'm having to use a Rock Band microphone. This podcast, so if everybody who's watching is watching me sit around with the old Logitech microphone holding up to my face.
Looks
Look
like
Yeah, we've ordered him a nice microphone for Christmas, so it should be coming in soon.
Guys.
But for tonight, you get to enjoy Hipster Chris. Yeah, no, and that's something I love is that that's the company you want to make that much money, right? Out of a $2 million game. Like, I can't wait to see what Psyonix pumps out next. I think it is amazing that they've come this far with a game that they've done so well, and every time they put something out, every time you get a new update, every time you get a new game mode, anytime you get anything from that game, you can just tell that they give a shit. And you can see, like, the work they've put into that game.
Yeah.
Into, like, making sure that they listen to the cries of the public and make it just a great, amazing game to play.
Yep.
I love it. Psyonix has earned, like, every merit in my book. They are easily one of the best, like, indie developers out there right now. Fucking kudos to them. For
Yep.
sure. So, all right. Dakota.
Your
What's
number three.
My number 3 is Axiom Verge. Axiom Verge.
Okay.
Have you guys heard? Have you guys played?
No.
Is
I've
a
heard
game-
the name. Haven't heard anything else about
Right
it.
on.
I haven't heard
It's,
the name. That name sounds sexy as hell.
It's a very cool name. It's on PC, Mac, and Linux. More importantly, when I played it, it was on PS4. This game is a Metroid-like, I guess. It is.
Okay.
It is total
Metroidvania.
It's a Metroidvania through and through. It's very, very, very reminiscent of Metroid. It's obviously an homage to the game. You navigate through like a space station-y thing, and the way you open doors is the same. The way when you walk through, like the screen shifts to the side, just like Metroid. That said, it's awesome. It's really good, man. It made me feel for the first time since I played. Did you guys play Shadow Complex? Mitch, you had an Xbox. Did you play Shadow Complex?
No, I didn't.
I played. I didn't own it. I played it on my friends, and I wanted to get it. It was fun. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Shadow Complex is an incredible Metroidvania, and it's like, and it's not set in neither old-timey Castlevania settings, nor is it in necessarily like hyperspace kind of Metroid style. It's set kind of in the real world. Like you start off as a dude in a shirt with a pistol, but it's a Metroidvania that just kills. Axiom Verge is probably the best one that I played since that. And it was awesome. It's old retro graphics, chiptune soundtrack, which is totally killer. Something else is in chat. Shadow Complex is free right now from Epic Games Launcher. If you haven't played Shadow Complex and you game on your PC, go look up Epic Games Game Launcher and get that. It's free right now.
And play Unreal Tournament 2000 or Unreal Tournament 4.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Axiom Verge is awesome. It's a sweet roguelike, or excuse me, a Metroidvania. If you like that genre of game, if you have nostalgia for the old hits, definitely get it. It totally kicks ass.
Sweet. Yeah, it sounds great. I'm definitely going to check it out. It's free, so Christopher has no reason to bitch.
No, I'm installing it right now.
Nice.
He's installing it right now.
This guy does
That's
not
how you
waste
get
any
Chris.
time. He literally has to drop the mic in order to turn his attention to his keyboard and mouse.
Free game?
Yep.
Awesome.
Later, nerds.
Awesome. All right, well, my number 3, probably not one that anybody thought was going to be on anybody's list. A game I've played a little bit of. I've played about like an hour of it, watched countless hours of this game, so I'm counting it.
Wow.
Because it is so much.
Bold.
It is so much fun to watch this game be played and made. I'm talking about Super Mario Maker. This game is so much fun. I can't stop watching people playing on Twitch. It's a lot of fun. Just the dumb shit that people do in this game, but it still feels and looks like Mario, but sometimes doesn't look like Mario is great. I didn't think it was going to be something that I was going to like watching. And then one time, the other day, it was like a month ago, I jumped on Twitch and like some guy was playing on the front page. And I shit you not, I sat there and watched him for about 2 hours. Just play people's levels. And I was like, this game is insane. So then like one of my buddies had it, lives down the street from me. So I went over to his house. I played it for like an hour. I just like wanted to make a level. It was so much fun.
Did you knock on his door like the old Mario days?
Yeah.
Hey,
Can we play
my
video
friend
games?
home. Can he come in and play Mario Brothers?
Oh, man.
It's such an interesting concept too. Like the idea of just like you make a level and then other people play them.
I love
There's
it,
no
but
like nothing to gain. You just do it for fun.
I'm worried if that will ruin future Mario games, in that
do you mean?
people get burned out of being able to play any type of Mario level. And now when they come out with a new Mario game and they're going to make up a level, it's going to be like, oh, well, this isn't as cool as that one Mario level I played at Mario Maker.
Now, Chris,
Wow, that's some
let me ask you this. Let me ask you this serious
I know,
question.
but I'm worried like some people... Go ahead.
Do you think they're gonna make another Mario game? Like the ones in Super Mario Maker? Like a side-scrolling Mario game?
Yeah, they still do.
Yeah. They still do.
When was the last time they made one? I'm just curious. I don't know.
New Super Mario Brothers.
2.
They call it New Super Mario Brothers.
2,
or like,
right?
Yeah.
And it's the second one in that series. Like,
Yeah.
Did you ever play for the Wii, Mitch, where it was basically old school side-scroller, but you could play
played
up
it
to
at
4
my
people?
house. And one person
that
can make...
weird one. Yeah, and there's
It's
the
not
guy that
weird.
just
You
like
could
kills people.
It's the same, but you could just make platforms for people on using the touchpad.
Yeah, but that's more of like a party game. I don't know.
I mean, it's single player. It's party when I have other people over.
Okay, fair enough. Well, I don't know. It is what it is. I think it's great. I think the concept behind it was just batshit insane. And some of like the Korean levels that I've seen are amazing. Just by every stretch of the imagination, they are as incredible as you want them to be. And I have one that I remember watching this guy play. I will post the links in the show notes because it was the funniest shit I've ever seen. It was so good. And the best part was there was a tiny flaw in the level, so it was actually really easy to beat.
Oh no.
It was so great. But the level was just batshit insane. It was just great.
I really wanna. I was thinking about picking that up. I may have to now.
Yeah.
Chris, this game is so much fun. I absolutely love playing it. So that's my number 3. Chris Toofer. What's your number 2?
My number 2 is Splatoon.
I knew it. I knew it.
I thought that was going to be his number 1.
You thought it'd be my number 1.
I have your number 1 and number 2 written down.
Okay. I thought that was going to be his number 1.
No.
Splatoon, number 2, by far.
God, we can't go one fucking show without you talking about Splatoon.
It came out this year, so don't worry. You don't got to hear it anymore. Splatoon, never again. Splatoon is great. I mean, it's a shooter, and it really reminds people, I guess, reminded me, like, how fun, like, you play games to have fun. And this is a shooter without any guns. Like, they had some other award show, and they were showing all the best shooters of this year, like, what the nominees were, and it was, like, dark, gritty guys with, like, machine guns, and then a bunch of squid kids with splatter guns. Like, you can't, I mean, that's exactly what I feel when I'm playing that game. It's so good. One of the guys said the Wii controller gave him cancer. But the thing is, if you use the control, you could use it like a regular style, right? Using the 2 joysticks.
Yeah.
The way God intended, I guess, according to this guy. But if you get used to the way where you use the gyroscope in the controller, it's really, really sensitive. And to me...
Stupid. Oh, sensitive, sorry.
I mean, it sounds stupid.
Haters.
And to me, when I first picked up the game, and that's what the default was, I'm like, this is the dumbest shit I've ever tried. After figuring out how to play the game, no. The gyroscope, like, the way they utilized it for a shooter, like, looking up and down with the controller and just pressing left and right to move left and right, that is the best. Besides mouse and keyboard, that's my second favorite, like, movement controller of all time.
Nice. I wonder if we'll see more of that when the Steam controllers start going wide. Those
I really
are
want
totally
to try that.
Customizable, configurable. You use the touch pads, the analog pieces, make them click sensitive.
The analog sticks, if you will.
Yeah, if you will.
Yeah.
I mean, Chris, here's what I'm going to do. When the Steam controller finally comes out and I get one, and then I actually start using it like the Wii U controller, then I'll tell you that you're correct. But for now,
no,
really
you won't
stupid.
use that as like thumb like touch pads. The Wii U is like a gyroscope, so you remember.
Yeah,
how
I
you
tried
look up
using that. I didn't like it. I
told you,
stupid.
like, once you get used to the regular game, if you try it again, give it like a day, it's super accurate. It's just, that game is so fun. I mean, everybody has a blast online. They keep releasing free content. That was one of the major things, too. They are constantly supporting it after you buy it. And they add a lot of, like, little, what are they called? Splatfests, where, like, community gets together, votes for a thing.
I love Splatfests.
Yeah, I know you do.
No.
But every other weekend, they have, like, a Splatfest where the community gets together to vote for, like, Team Hot Dog or Team Sausage or something. I had to pick those two for you.
Oh, God, this Splatfest is getting better and better. This Splatfest is getting better and better.
But, I mean, yeah, it's a lot of fun. The community is great. People are still playing it. They're still pumping out new content. It's just a joy to play. It really was. Definitely my number 2.
Sweet. I mean, it's definitely a sweet game. A lot of the community, that community loves that game. Like, hands down, they're one of those communities that, like, eats that shit up. So they got to be doing something, right? Dakota.
No, only me.
Yeah, you're right. It doesn't work with him.
Yeah.
Dakota, what was your number 2?
All right, my number 2 game that came out this year, highly anticipated sequel in a franchise, open world, awesome characters, crazy quests, cool things to find. Fuck no, I'm not talking about Fallout 4. The Witcher 3 is my number 2 entry
fuck Fallout
for
4!
Game of the Year.
It was Barbie Island Adventure 6.
They had all those features too. It's great. It's a good sequel. The Witcher 3 as well. Witcher 3 was killer, man. They like it was very ambitious of them to move from a linear game style like the Witcher 1 and 2 were to open world like Witcher 3 was. I mean, Bethesda kind of had the monopoly on that genre. I mean, at least for the current generation of gamers, right? I mean, Skyrim, the Elder Scrolls games, and the Fallout games, those were your open world American RPGs. And The Witcher 3, not even an American studio, just came out, knocked it out of the park, man. That game had so much to do, so much to find, scratched your I need to find the new piece of loot itch, scratched your sweet narrative itch. I want to collect them all and do all the quests and have sex with all the female characters in the video game. It had all the best itches to scratch, and
especially after having sex all those times.
Especially after having all
you get a lot of diseases to scratch.
I had sex with a chick and then killed her like 2 scenes later. I was like, oh my god, I'm such a deviant. That game was awesome.
I really want to get into The Witcher 3. I played the first one and I really enjoyed it, and I have the second one on my Steam library, but I just haven't gotten around to it.
The Witcher 3 has so much game to offer that, man, you risk getting burned out before you finish it if you go and play the second one before the third. The third game just has plenty of content. You don't need to
that's a game I'd probably play like a year or so. Like I'd probably play the second one maybe in the next couple months. Third one a year later. That's how I usually go with those kinds of games. Too much open world I can't handle, like you said. Like I'm sure that it's great. I love those, like how The Witcher. I especially like how it's like that storyline. It's very very gray, right? There's no totally good or evil sides of that story the Witcher world.
Yeah, it's very much like the characters are realistic. It's not like black and white cartoon characters. They're real people with real motivations, and even the Witcher himself, like, I mean, his job is just to kill monsters. He doesn't really care about good or evil, and so you know, he's got his own agenda, and doesn't necessarily he's not out to save the world, you know, by no means.
I really enjoy that. There's not a lot of games where you could kind of play as a neutral character.
Yep.
Right. I really like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a game that's on my list to get. I've got a couple other games like the Uncharted games to beat, but that's definitely going to be one of the games I pick up for sure.
Cool.
For sure. So my number 2, Chris, this one's actually going to surprise you. My number 2 is Evolve.
Really?
Because
what?
Yes. Okay. Now let me
the shit. All the shit. I can't stay on anymore. I don't even care about it.
Okay, so here's the thing. I am basing my Evolve is my number 2 pick. I am basing my analysis solely on the game, not their piece of shit DLC, whatever you want to call that. Yep. That game, when it came out, Chris, you can't even deny, we played the fuck out of that game. And I was actually so upset because there was a Comcast bug when it first came out that would just boot people from the game. And I honestly think that is the reason I stopped. Because I was in love with that game to the point where I was trying to be one of the top Kraken players in the world or in the region or whatever. Like, I was playing the shit out of that game. I loved it. I thought the concept was amazing. Chris, you and I would watch videos late at night when it was coming out of previews of the game. It blew my mind, the concept, this 1v4.
We should honestly... Before it gets too long in the tooth, we should play it together before there's no player base to play with.
I will play this all the time. Everybody stop playing.
I love the game.
I love Evolve.
Guys listening, we need 2 more to get a team of 5 going. So if you want to play, you drop us a line. We'll add you on Steam. We'll play some games because that game is incredible. Like, straight up, I thought the execution was amazing.
Yeah,
there was a couple stupid little bugs, but that's to be expected with a really intense and open world-ish type game like that. But
it looked
I
gorgeous.
think it was
And I
amazing.
remember, man, I was
It's
in my circle
phenomenally-
of gaming friends. I was the only one real willing to take the plunge. And so it was me on TeamSpeak every day going, please, somebody buy this game. Please.
I
This
think
game
it's
is
still
so
on
much
sale
fun.
on Steam for like $13 right now.
$13?
I think so.
$13 is absolutely worth it. In fact, one of my buddies is like, if it goes down to like $15-20, if it's on for $13, I might have some people to play with.
Yeah, if it's
I
on
mean-
for $13, like I can even see us doing like a sweet giveaway.
It's
for,
$13.59.
Code
Oh my
here.
god!
$13.59 right now.
Wow.
All right, well, we're gonna come up with a sweet giveaway. That's cheap as fuck, and I want to play with some of our listeners, so we're gonna come up with a sweet giveaway. If you don't have Evolve, keep your ears peeled. We're gonna give away.
The Monster Race edition is $27. That's with all the hot season passes with it.
The game is incredible. Honestly, I'm super disappointed in their DLC choices. That really sucked and just ruined it for me. But the game overall is amazing. It was
Spoilers.
very well done.
It's not on my list.
Oh,
I loved this game. I'm not going
Wow,
to get into it.
that was what I thought your number one was.
I know.
Gonna be, Chris.
I know you did. I could not put it on there because of the way that they handled everything.
Yeah.
That it was not. It has some of the best sound in any game I've ever
Yes.
played
Yes.
because you need to
Yes.
hunt. You actually have to take audio cues and like.
Yes.
I don't know. The game is great. It looks gorgeous. I love big monster like kaiju stuff. I grew up on Godzilla movies.
Yeah, totally.
I'm all about that. I'm about these group of 4 working together. I love the Left 4 Dead, like the banter. You find out about all the storyline through their banter before
Yes.
every
Yep.
mission and during the mission. It's really cool the way it's set up, but like they just dropped the ball in so many places. I couldn't personally justify giving it a top 5 for the way they handled everything else. The game itself would be in my top 5 by far, maybe number 1.
Well, there's
But
never been a better time to get into it than. $13 is absolutely absurd. That game is very much worth $13. $60, no. $13,
I would have loved to pay
absolutely.
$13 for that game. I wish I hadn't played $60 for that game. But it is what it is. All right, so first for Chris, give us
Christopher.
Yes, give us
First
your number 1 game of 2015.
Number 1. I'm determined to make this my number 1. I don't know if you guys get that. Undertale. By far.
Really? Undertale is your number 1.
Wow.
Is my number 1. Going back to my reasoning, part of my reasoning for why Splatoon was so great, it just remembers why gaming is fun. Like, if you guys play this game, it's 8-bit, it looks old style. The very beginning looks way more old, and once you play a little bit, it looks a little bit nicer. But it's still 8-bit. It's so fun. The whole world. It's a basic Japanese RPG style where you walk into a fight and it's kind of it's not even turn-based. In the fight, you have a little control of your little heart, and it's kind of like a bullet hell where you have to dodge the attacks from the enemy in the little space provided. And certain monsters maybe make your guy like if it's blue attack, you have to keep your thing still, and if it's orange attack, you have to move it through what's ever coming at you, and then white, you just have to dodge. And the gameplay is fun, but the storyline, all the characters are hilarious. There's a lot of laugh out loud moments. There's not too many times I do that in the game, but I laughed out loud. Like, for instance, I walked into this one area, there was a little sign, so I go up to read it, and it said like, road closed dog wedding, or like dog marriage.
Yeah.
And like, this game is like a game where you're walking around, so I like, click the sign out, and I walk away, and I'm like, wait, what? And then I go back and I read the sign, and the sign literally says, yes, you read that right, dog marriage. Like, this game, man, it hits all the right cues. Like, it's
That's
so
awesome.
fun. It's so clever. It knows that there's a player playing the game.
Right, I heard it breaks the fourth wall. It's very self-referential.
It does. I don't want to give anything away, but
Yeah.
there's a very specific point that it does it in an amazing way.
Mm-hmm.
But the game is so adorable. Like, and you could play, there's a lot of different endings. and it really hits you in the feels. I don't know, man. That game is that's what gaming is about. It's an interactive experience that tells a story in only a way that a game can. By you making choices, by it knowing it's a game, so certain things that maybe if you go a little bit further, like for instance that sign thing, that always sticks out to me. Like I reread that sign because I thought it was funny. It knew that I was going to do that, so it had the option for maybe a player like me who's going to reread it to have a little joke in there.
Yeah.
No, just stuff like that. It was brilliant. You guys have to pick it up.
I've played it for a little bit. I haven't actually beat the game yet. I played it for like 30 minutes. Somebody gifted it to me. My buddy Kerry Hill, shout out to him. He just gifted it to me for my birthday, or I don't even remember when he gifted it to me. And I played it for about 30 minutes, and I just started getting the concept, and I was like, oh, this game is cool. I have to check it out when I have time. But yeah, I definitely did get the soundtrack is awesome.
Oh yeah, soundtrack is great.
Soundtrack is amazing, and it's a great game. Like you start seeing some of these jokes, and you can tell it's another one of those games, much like Psyonix with Rocket League, where it is. You can tell that they gave a shit about the game, and they actually tried with the game, and that's what I liked about it. Is it was a game that whoever developed this game put effort into.
It was more than
some of these things in.
More than just effort, man. Like they really made you. Not only did they care about it, but they made you really want to care about it.
Yes.
Yeah, it was great.
Exactly.
Great
it's actually
game.
under my honorable mentions. It's not my number one, spoiler alert, but it's under. It was my number 6. Like it was like, fuck, man, that game was amazing, and like everything I've heard about the game is amazing. And the 30 minutes that I played, I was like, fuck, I really want to play this game. So
yeah, play it all the way through. It's about 6 hours, 8 hours, but there's different endings. And for an indie title, like I don't know, man. A lot of these indie games are the ones that really come to the top for me lately. Besides Splatoon,
indie games have always like stuck out for me. Like Limbo would have been my best game of like 2 years ago. So
yeah, but they're able to take Braid was one of my favorites of all time.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
Braid. Oh god, that game. All right, so we can have a whole nother episode on favorite indie games for sure.
Yeah, we're gonna have one.
All right, Dakota, you're number 2.
Number 1.
Dakota. No.
Number
oh,
one.
yeah, I'm sorry, you're number 1.
My number 1, yeah. I guess we don't have to spend too much time on it. You and me, Mitch, I'm sure. Rocket League, best game of the year. Best game in the last 5 years. I don't understand.
Is that your number 1 also, Mitch?
That's my number 1 as well. I knew that it was going to be Dakota and I's number 1.
Do a co-op number 1. This is cute. I'm going to watch this.
I mean, what can we say? All three of us have played so much of this game together. I'm so glad that I found you guys to play with, because again, my curmudgeon old farts of internet friends stick to their same 2 games that they play, and this game, it's just you're doing yourself a disservice by not playing this game, because it delivers on like the core experience of what it means to like be sitting on a couch with a buddy playing a 2-player game like shoulder to shoulder. It makes you feel like that, right? Just sheer unadulterated joy. You feel like a child. You can't help but laugh at the most ridiculous things. I'm never not without a smile on my face, or the word fuck coming out of my mouth. It kind of like oscillates between the two, but in a good way, you know.
It's a scale for sure.
Yeah, you never feel like you're not contributing. You always feel like, even in the midst of everything, like you're like, oh man, I hit that guy, so we were able to score. Like you always feel like you're doing something to contribute.
Yeah. And like, and so it also has like this zany quality where the first time you look at it, you go, oh, that's kind of cute. That looks like some dumb fun, right? And that's what it starts out as. But as you progress all the way up to Big League Bronze 3, like we are, you get better and better and better. That was a joke. Bronze 3 is not high. Silence. But as you get better, you realize that it's not just random zany luck hits, right? It's people meant to do that, and you learn to execute moves and learn to control the ball well, and all of a sudden, before you know it, you've actually like accomplished some sort of improvement, which is really it's very satisfying and gratifying, and it's something that games don't always have anymore.
Yeah, there's definitely what I like about this game is a number of things, but one of my main things I like about it, and it's one of the things I like about a lot of games that I end up falling in love with, is the game itself is simple, yet has enough options to have a super high skill cap.
Yeah.
So like, there's not really much going on. There's a ball, you have a car, it can jump, it can fly, it can boost. That's it. But you have to make that happen while other people are also making that happen, and it is... I have not had in a long time that much fun playing a game. It's exactly like you said, Dakota. It is the perfect party game.
I think it's because of the
you
control.
are with your friends.
You're
Yes.
getting at the controlling of the ball, like the controlling of your car in any way you could think of. Like if you're in the air, you could move diagonally, reverse, upside down, backwards, rocket explosion. Like you can do anything
it is
you
a
could think of.
sandbox of soccer cars.
Whatever you think your rocket car could do, you could do it with that rocket car.
Yep.
Yeah, you were talking about the skill involved, Mitch, and I think the way to describe it is it has a very low skill floor, but a very high skill ceiling.
Oh my God.
Extraordinarily high skill ceiling. So there's a lot of room to improve from when you first pick it up and go, okay, I'm competent enough to make a goal. You still have miles to go as far as what you can become in that game.
Yeah. And what you said is exactly one of the reasons that I love the game as well. It is almost impossible to play that game and not be like excited as you're playing it. Like literally the second it goes 3, 2, 1 and you start playing, it's like, oh shit, okay, here we go, and you just get in this zone.
All the parts of it. It's not just the gameplay. The way that the way that the ball explodes when it hits into the net.
Oh
and
yeah,
the way
it explodes you backwards.
The way you could have different rocket trails. I could definitely see that.
That's another thing too. Like they touch that customizable button that everybody loves. Yeah. They press that button with you, and like, here's like 20 fucking cars and like 17 different paint jobs and a million fucking hats and trails, and you can have them all for free. I don't give a fuck. It's Christmas. Here's a fucking reindeer hat. Here's a fucking Christmas tree. Like, take all this shit. I don't care.
Yep.
And I love that. That's great. Like, that's the shit as gamers that we love. You know, in TF2, it's a fucking hat game. So the fact that they just threw those in there for free is like, fuck yes. I love Psionics so much.
Yep.
God damn, this game is just incredible, for sure.
Nice. So
easily my number one. I knew it was going to be your number one, Dakota, and I knew it was going to be on your list, Chris. So
yeah, definitely on my list.
A lot of fun. A lot of fun.
All right,
so that was our top 5.
Want to do runners up?
Some quick.
Let's do some runners up.
Yeah, honorable mentions. I guess I'll go to honorable mention. My honorable mention, like I said, real quick, Evolve. Right?
Yep.
I loved the game. Gorgeous, beautiful. I just hated the way it was handled. Hated the lack of they even supported it. But I don't know, man. Just everything about the handling of that game was a shit show. Mm-hmm. And I can't put on my top 5 because of that. Because of the way they ruined their own game. And I love it. It was great.
Not a day one buy.
It was a day one buy for me. That's the worst part. I bought it day one because it had monsters.
Yeah.
Maybe you know what? Oh my God, this is what happened.
That's
This is why.
You guys found it out.
Ruined him.
My honorable mention's got to be Soma. I covered this in our Halloween episode.
I want to play it so much.
I didn't include it because I didn't actually play it. I played an hour of it. But then when Mitch talked about Mario Maker, I figured, well, shit, man. If we were allowing that, you know, we all interpreted the list our own way. That's fine. But Soma is an amazing game. I don't even know if it matters that you have to like horror games to enjoy it. If you like thinkers, it's a fucking thinker.
I feel like this, if I played this game, it would have made my list. Yeah. 100%. I don't know what it would have knocked off there.
If you love narrative-driven experiences, this one, man, it's got one of the best stories that I saw in any video game, movie, anything this year.
Chris, this seems like your type of game for sure.
Yeah, it definitely is. You know what? Another game, real quick. I want you guys to play, and so I could borrow it or to like borrow your PS4 or something. Until Dawn, Mitch.
God! As I was looking at games that came out to just remind myself, I saw Until Dawn and I went, fuck, I want to play this game. I forgot about this game.
Wanting to play, that's everything I want in a video game. Like, I want to play it so bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had a couple
I'm going to probably get this game soon.
Like, big ones that none of us I know played. Metal Gear Solid 5, Just Cause 3, Dying Light, Until Dawn, some kind of like
Just Cause 3
notable titles.
Just Cause 3 looks amazing. I really want to pick up that game as well. Every video I see of people doing dumb shit on Reddit looks amazing, and I really want to play this game so bad.
What was your honorable mention?
Any other honorable? I have no other honorable mentions. Undertale was my honorable mention. We already discussed it. Yeah, I really want to play it. Any other games, honorable mentions? Not really. Heroes of the Storm, sorry, I forgot you came out in 2015. My bad. I played you in 2014, so it didn't count for me.
Vermintide. That was my other honorable mention.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
real
It's very
quick,
good.
I loved the way that they changed up the Left 4 Dead formula in just a minute enough way to be different, but set it in the Warhammer universe, one that I really love, and made great first-person combat, melee combat.
Which
the
is
way
hard.
they set really hard. The only reason I didn't put it on there was because it was so, it was a little bare bonesy when it came out. But even though there were a lot of levels, I don't know why it was my list was tough. Like that was, I forgot about that one.
There were a lot of
that was
good
probably,
games that came out this year.
I know, that's probably like my number 6, just eking under StarCraft. If I hadn't played StarCraft this week, it would have been number 5.
Yep.
Chris bought it in anticipation for this episode.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, that was our top 5. Those were our honorable mentions. We're all looking forward to 2016. I think it's going to be a great year for gaming. We got some pretty incredible titles coming out. So let's move on to the meta bet.
Meta bet.
All right, Dakota, take us away.
All right, the meta bet
Or
is the
into
game where we bet on the Metacritic score of an upcoming video game. Last week, Mitch lost the meta bet, so he was assigned the punishment to beat Uncharted 1. Mitch, tell us about it.
So this is the unprecedented thing I was telling you about.
I know.
I could not beat this game. This game was unbearable. I played the shit out of this game. I hate this game. I could not bear another minute. Remember what I told you about with the shooting? How he's kind of like diagonal, but the shooting is straightforward? I couldn't do it anymore. I couldn't do it. It was so unbearable. And there's a point in the game where it just, I don't know what happened in storyline where they just felt like they needed to put this much in there. But there's a point in the game where you're like in a jungle, of course, because it's Uncharted, and you literally, you're just like fighting through. I shit you not, I must have killed like 500 men. Like, it's just, here's some guys. Okay, move on to the next area. Here's like 10 more guys. Move on to the next area. Here's about 10 more guys. Move on to the next area. And you just shoot out with all these guys forever, it felt like. And I got through that finally. And I was just like, I can't fucking play this game anymore. And then like, I started moving forward and it just, okay, the problem here, and then I'll let you guys weigh in on this, is that I started playing Uncharted 2. So I know what the future holds for this game series as far as what the game can be like.
Yeah.
So when I started playing this one, I was like, this just feels like Uncharted 2, but I can't do half the shit I want to do. Or there's not as many features. Or it's just shittier.
Yeah.
And so and I just couldn't do it. So if you guys want to assign me another punishment, you can, but I gave it my all. I played this game for up to like 7 hours. What?
What was that?
Not finishing punishment.
Yeah. Chris, I tried so hard. I was just like, I can't play this game anymore.
Okay,
I
so
literally
here's
was
your
having
follow-up, not
no
finishing
fun.
punishment. You have to go watch a Let's Play and at least watch how the game ends.
You have to watch it to the end at least.
Yeah, I'll quiz
I
you.
agree.
Fine. I can do that, I guess. But I'm going to probably fast forward through the dumbass shooting scenes.
Sure.
The storyline was not too bad, actually. I was actually very interested to see what happens, but I was just so fucking bored.
And you can appreciate
not...
how far they went, how far they came, I guess. Came's kind of weird.
I'm just excited. I was too excited to play Uncharted 2. I really was.
Yeah. Did you finish
It's a problem that No, I haven't finished. I was too fucking busy playing this game all. See, so the problem also was that this was Christmas weekend too. So like,
Sure. It was a
I
busy
was
weekend.
doing a lot of family shit all weekend, so I didn't have as much time anyways.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I tried. I hate that game. I'm sorry, Uncharted.
All right.
I fucking loved number 2, but I cannot play number 1 after I know what I know.
All right, well, now is when we would go over the results of last week. But last week there were hardly any notable video games coming out. Well, actually today. So we didn't have anything to bet on. We decided that we would do another group handicap, right? Did you guys think of any ideas? I thought of a couple ideas.
Well, I want to see before we write down our ideas, if anybody in the chat that was here last week or anybody now, if you guys have any ideas for some group handicaps that we can do for all the games that we play. And these are games like Rocket League, Heroes of the Storm, Vermintide, apparently now Evolve, we're going to be playing for a little bit.
Put CSGO on there too. I just installed CSGO.
Oh,
Yeah,
I had
we-
an itch to play some gun game. Like I heard someone about my buddies playing gun game. I'm like, man, I want to.
Oh, gun game, that's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
if
we'll
you
talk
have
about our
any-
ideas and let the chat kind of come as it comes. 2 ideas I had, actually one of them was from somebody in chat that I spoke to earlier. We could do a little ice skates mode with Rocket League. Tape your handbrake button down and play.
That's
You know what I'm saying?
interesting.
Yeah, and we can even play on the
That's
ice
really
level.
funny.
So if we played on the ice level, it would actually look like we're sliding on ice.
That's
because
hilarious.
the ground in the
Oh,
ice level
God.
doesn't actually change; it just looks different. But we could make it different. So that's one idea.
I love that one.
I
But we've
like
done
that
Rocket
one.
League too much lately.
I don't care. That sounds incredible, and 'tis the goddamn season.
Okay, so that's one. The second
my vote.
idea I had when I was playing a little bit of Duck Game earlier today. Duck Game is awesome. We will be playing Duck Game later,
Yes.
hopefully tonight. If not tonight, sometime soon. Duck Game is all like one-hit kills in like an arena combat, like 2D arena combat, kind of like Smash Bros, but not a fighter. It's just one-hit kills with guns. We could do something where the 3 of us get in the game and we have a 4th person, and we don't attack them. We just try to outlast. So we would not pick up any weapons at all, and just like try to last the longest. So that might be something we could do.
I really love that. Can we play it normally for a while first? Because I haven't
Yeah,
played
it wouldn't have to.
yet.
It could be an all-week thing because you guys haven't even gotten to enjoy the game at all yet.
Yeah, what a way to start that game. Like, yeah, here's the game. You
Don't
can't
shoot
play.
anybody.
Yeah, right. No shooting. So no shooting Duck Game or Ice Skates Rocket League Snow Day.
I don't know. It's up to you. I'm going to concede to whichever one you guys want to
Like
do.
we could do a Heroes of the Storm one. We haven't done that one. I like we could do Evolve. What can we do for Evolve?
Yeah, we do want to
that.
play Evolve. We did talk about that.
We could do all of us play a class we don't like.
Yeah, that one's
you
tough
guys
because
haven't
it's not
really
like
played.
you can't go 4 medics, right? It makes you pick one.
Yeah,
of each
it
role.
makes you pick one class of each.
Yeah.
Nah.
I don't know. I kind of really like this Duck Game idea. I think it would
Yeah.
be hilarious.
Okay, we'll do the
that's
Duck
my
Game.
vote.
All right, we'll do
I like
the
the
Duck
Duck
Game,
Game.
and we will.
All right, so Duck Game. When we play, we cannot shoot
No shooting.
the 4th person.
Yeah.
We just run around and try to outlast.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like it.
All right, that's it.
All right,
Cool.
so we will be doing that. There will definitely be a video for you guys to enjoy sometime this week, if not next week.
Yeah.
We had the Rocket League video, right, for the backwards shooting, but that was last week.
Yep.
I
That
just
was last
brain
week, yeah.
farted.
Yep.
All right, so Dakota, what game are we voting on this week?
Okay, this week we are voting on Shooting Stars. It comes out on the PC, Mac, and Linux. This was a game that was previously mobile only. It was on iPhone, Android, iPad. It's basically a pixel art bullet hell. It looks pretty rad. The music sounds great. Their tagline: "This game is the answer to This game is the answer to one of the most important questions in life. I can have Laser Kitty? Yes, yes, you can." So that's Shooting Stars, and I've got my number written down. Let me type it in chat. My number's
Oh
down.
my god! In case you want to see, I have a trailer of the video playing. You can take a look at it if you're in the chat. Looks pretty sweet. Ah, God.
I have my number written.
All right, let's see. Oh, that's right. I put it in the chat, right?
Yep.
Okay, got it.
All right.
Ready?
1, 2, 3. Oh my gosh. All right, very close numbers again this week. Going from bottom up, Chris has 69. I have 76. Oh yeah. I have 76 and Mitch has 77, putting me in the money position. I am safe. I can't lose. And Mitch and Chris get to play high-low again.
Great.
God, I thought I was going too low, and I was like, no, but this is what I think it would be. So
I thought.
God damn it.
I think it's going to be pretty low because it looks. I watched that trailer. We also put up a trailer in the Twitch chat so everybody could see, but I watched it before, and it looks like a mobile port, right? You said it was a mobile port too. And I
Yes.
just don't see there being a lot of. I don't know. I just don't see it being that good.
Yeah. In case it...
guys.
It looks
Yeah.
too memey.
all right. Meaty. No,
Memey.
for the
Memey.
Mimi. Yeah, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, it looks like it's trying to be really hip and funny.
Yeah, okay. Right on.
All right, well, we want to thank you here at Analog Stick Radio, and we implore you to check out our sponsoring site, bitcultures.com. If you've never been, you should definitely check it out. We have some game reviews, some playthroughs, some articles, podcasts like this one, and even a British guy who talks to you about things, so definitely check it out. If you'd like to get in contact with us and send us some shit, we want to read it, or hear it, or see it. So if it's funny, if it's epic, if it's stupid, I don't care. Send us your shit. And if we like it or hate it enough, we will definitely feature it on our next episode. Guys, any parting words before we go?
Again, no real shit, please. Don't.
No real shit. We do not, unless your real shit like looks like Stitches from Heroes of the Storm.
Yeah. Then only send it to Mitch.
Then send it to Eric at bitcultures.com along with the tagline, "Give Mitch the code for The Last of Us so he can play this freaking game."
Sounds good.
All right. I like it.
All right, any parting words, guys, before we take off?
Happy New Year's.
Happy New Year's.
Happy New Year's, everybody. Just to let you guys know, if this is your first time listening, we record on Twitch every Tuesday night at 11 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central, or Pacific. Who cares about Central? And then we also post it on a bunch of different social media sites on Thursday around noon. So all the links for that will be in the show notes. But if you want to come hang out with us, we'd love to hang out with you. If we have nothing else to say,
this is going to be it's going to be up in time so everybody could listen during their New Year's Eve party.
Oh, you guys can play this for your New Year's Eve party.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what? If I get anybody sending me a video of them playing this podcast during their New Year's Eve party, I will buy you a copy of Evolve.
Yes.
Hands down, right
100%.
now. I am saying that if you play it during your New Year's Eve party and you
it's got to be at least 9 people at the party.
Minimum,
it can't be like you and your mom.
Yeah, well, maybe we need to get that guy Evolved, though. Maybe we need to buy him.
That's true.
That's
a good point. Yeah, we'll play with that guy. I'll play with that guy.
Minimum 9 people, including you. You're welcome. But yeah, send me a video, analogstickradio.com. I'll buy you a copy of Evolve. We'll play it. You can look at how good I am. Other than that, no parting words. We'll see you guys next Tuesday.
See ya.